to hold on to them. That would be great. So this song is in the key of G major. This song is in the key of G major. So as you can hear, it's not really music yet. It's like saying I'm going to paint with the color red, but there's no painting yet. It's just G major, which means any one of you, whether you have experience on the piano or not, I could show you these 4 notes to play, and it would sound the same, whether it's a virtuoso like myself or someone inexperienced, right? There's no way to make this musical. I can't, just... I can't make it passionate. And so the Italians, many hundred years ago, decided that they would find a solution to this problem. And what they did is, instead of hitting the notes simultaneously, like I'm doing here, they suggested that you hit the notes one by one, in order, like this. And here, of course, is where being a musician helps, because you have to keep a steady rhythm, and you hit the notes of the G major, and all of a sudden there's music that is developing over time. It's not much, it's not really a catchy tune yet, but at least it's something you can recognize as music, maybe an intro to a song. And this is something that, a lot of music these days, which is very rhythmic based, obviously, dance music especially, they use the arpeggio a lot. You guys know Daft Punk? We've got some Daft Punk fans here tonight? Yeah. Right? All arpeggios. Okay, and in their case, a machine did that for them. There's a button, arpeggio button. But before there was an arpeggio button, the arpeggio was still being used to get people to dance, right? Are there any Glenn Miller fans here tonight? Yeah. I can see by some of the hair color that that's the case. Right? That's how I like it, a nice mixed crowd. Daft Punk and the Glenn Miller people. Okay, In the Mood by Glenn Miller, huge dance banger of its time, using the arpeggio. Let me just give you a bit of an example here. This is In the Mood without arpeggios for a point of contrast. So you see, the arpeggio is pushing a lot of musical weight. So I wanted to explore the arpeggio as deeply as I could. So I started in G major, okay? And when I say in G major, when you see a classical piece, a symphony in D, or nocturne in E, all it means is that that's usually the first and last chord you're going to hear. And throughout the piece, you'll always come back to it as a point of stability, as a point of familiarity. And that enables the composer to create moments of tension, knowing that you can always go back to this kind of home key. So that's all it means. To be in G major just means we come back to it and it feels like stability, it feels comfortable. And so I decided, well, okay, let's see if I can create a very, very tense second chord, and I can just alternate between the sort of familiarity of G major and my second chord, which I stole from the soundtrack of Vertigo, the Hitchcock movie. It's an E flat minor major 7 with an added 6th. It's very, very tense, and here's how the 2 chords sound together. It's kind of uncertainty and the stability. play for myself, let's say. This is a version I would do on an album, leaving the space. And the train of thought in this case, you know, I think arpeggios, they remind me of the rolling feeling of a train. But this is a slow-moving train. It's a reflective, dreamy train of thought. But again, you know, I'm not alone here. There's all of you. And so how do you transform this song into something that acknowledges the existence of an audience? This is the question I've been dealing with for 4 months now. And to me, there are really two more options of how to play this. The first of those two options is not my favorite at all. I don't like it. I'll demonstrate it very quickly, but it's not my choice. It's what I would call the government-supported version. You know, in this case, you play it, you know, you got money from the government, and that's why there's people in front of you. And so you acknowledge that they exist. It's a good step in the right direction. But the problem is, in this version, the performer acts like he just knows better than the audience. You know, and so it's, you know, something like that. You'll never understand it. Ever. Some of this. You know, the people who do that, I find that very insulting. You know why? Because what they're basically saying is, I've done everything I can do here, I'm going in. And that's just insulting. There still is a lot to do just here, you know? And that brings me to, you know, the final option, the entertainer's version. This is simple. You know, you speed it up, you put in some fireworks, some surprises, some extreme dynamics, very soft to very loud. And you listen, you feel the audience, you know, and it's a train of thought. It can be a fast-moving train, it can be a chaotic train. And so, to me, it's quite simple. This is the entertainer's version of train of thought.